My dear friends, how are you all doing? I hope you're all doing fine. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for returning back here. Thank you for your love and your support. I really appreciate much. But if it is your first time here on this channel, hello, welcome to my channel. Please, before you leave, remember to subscribe. And when you subscribe, YouTube automatically will turn on the notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be the first one to be notified. So please do that, and thank you so much. So dear friends, in our today's video, we are going to be having a story time of a Zambian lady who found love on an online dating site with a guy from Netherlands. Yeah, actually guys, it is the last part of Sante's love story. You who have been following this love story from part 1, then part 2, part 3, part 4. So today we are on the last part. Thank you so much for following up. So in this video, we had planned to do something very special for you, but unfortunately, on both sides, we couldn't manage. But don't worry about that, guys, because we came up with another super idea, which will be, instead of me narrating Sante's last part of the story, she will be the one narrating to you the last part of her love story. I sent her very interesting questions, which I know you guys are very curious to hear from her. Isn't that good, guys? Isn't that exciting? Yes, it is. So without wasting much of your time, guys, I am going to welcome Sante to tell her love story. Welcome, beautiful Sante.
Hi guys, my name is Sante. I am a 34-year-old woman who found love on online dating apps after 10 years of being single and 8 years of being on and off on online dating apps. And after such a long wait, I finally found love, all thanks to God and of course because of Bella. If you're not following her channel, you are missing out, especially if you're a lady who's looking to find love on an online dating app. This is the place to be. You better like, share and subscribe to her channel, and of course also show me love. I'm on Facebook. I am Woman After Christ's Heart, so you can follow me, join my journey. I focus so much on prayer and of course God's goodness. So let's jump into my story. So Rick and I met on the 1st of October 2023, and after talking for 2 weeks, he decided to visit me in my country, Zambia. So the day that he actually came to Zambia, guys, I was so nervous. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to behave, and the friend that I carried along with me for moral support was more nervous than I was. She was actually sweating and shaking. So when we finally saw him walk out of the airport, I ran to him. We hugged each other. Oh my goodness. And I remember that day there were like so many people at the airport, and Rick did not mind all those people around him. He just held me so tightly and a warm embrace. After talking to each other for a month, we were actually seeing each other face to face, guys. It was so overwhelming. It was magical, and it was just such a beautiful moment. I welcomed him with some flowers, and yeah, so the flowers had this sticker. He still kept it because it was something so special for him. He says nobody has ever done that for him. It says welcome to Zambia, babe. Yeah, so he really loved this, and he brought it all the way here to his country and put it in his living room. Yeah, so after we met, we drove to the hotel. I had my friend drive us. We were seated in the back, just holding each other's hands and just trying to catch up, trying to see whether there was that connection, whether there was chemistry. And guys, the chemistry was there. You never know if somebody is really for you online until you actually meet in person. That is when the true relationship starts. So we went to the hotel and this man kept staring at me, and he made me a little bit uncomfortable because I didn't know what was going through his head. I kept thinking if I had made a good impression on him, or if he liked what he saw, or if he was in love with my personality. I don't know. It was just so weird for me. He was really staring, like really, really staring deep into my eyes. Oh my god, I sound like Bella. And so we went to the hotel together. This is a hotel that he had booked before traveling here. It's a Best Western Plus hotel in Lusaka. I had such an amazing time there. Yeah, we created such beautiful memories. Yeah, so when we got to the hotel, I thought Rick was going to be extremely exhausted. I thought he was gonna sleep, but no, he didn't. He was so filled with adrenaline, probably because he was meeting the love of his life, me. Yeah, and so after freshening up, he wanted to give me the gifts that he had brought for me from the Netherlands. He brought me some chocolate because during our conversations on WhatsApp, I told him how much I love chocolate. If you're a woman and you don't like chocolate, then there's something wrong with you. Yeah. And he also brought me some books. He bought like some brand new books in Dutch, guys. And when I received those books, I was a little bit disappointed because I was expecting jewelry and perfume, because of all the interracial couples that I follow online. So I thought a book was not something romantic. And I remember expressing this to you, Bella, and you told me, well, actually, him getting you books in Dutch means that he sees a future with you. Yeah. I also bought him 2 other gifts. I think 3. It was actually 3 other gifts, because he's somebody that I notice who seems to attach to personal things. He loves intimate things, and I know that he has everything back in Europe, so I decided to get him a small teddy bear. He still has it in his house. He stuck it on his fridge, and I got him matching bracelets. You see, like this here, it says so. Mine says so, and then he says met. So when you put those bracelets together, it reads soulmate. It means we're incomplete with each other. So he really loved that. I also got him a notebook, and inside that notebook, I wrote a love letter to him, telling him how I have waited such a long time for him, and that I was just so happy to meet him. Yeah, so those were the gifts that we had exchanged. And also, guys, Rick had bought some toys for my son and my nephew, Linda's son.
So dear friends, I'm here to add something or to give you an advice when it comes to the gifts that you receive from the guy that you are dating. So like I said in my previous video, that Sante was my baby and is still my baby, because once you are a Bella baby, you will forever be a Bella's baby. Yeah. So was updating me on everything that was going on, and after receiving those gifts, of course, had lots of questions in her mind. It's not what she expected, and started, getting some doubts. But couldn't conclude, had to come to me to ask for an advice. Bella, I have received these kind of gifts. It's not what I expected. So what do you advise me here? And I was like, you know what? The fact that he brought you Dutch books That means this guy sees you in his future. Eventually, if you are going to relocate to the Netherlands, you need to start learning Dutch. This guy wants to settle down with you. Guys, when you are on the dating sites and apps searching, you are searching for that right guy that you will be in a love relationship, a very healthy one, and eventually settle down together. Those books were saying you study Dutch language because eventually we will settle down together. I'll marry you and we will live together in my country. What are we learning from this? When you receive a gift from a guy, get to know a meaning behind that gift. It's very, very important. Do not think of how much he spent to buy that gift. Don't judge a guy because, of a certain gift he brought without knowing the meaning behind that gift. Because I've been seeing so many of my babies after receiving gifts, or a guy, sends a photo, this is the kind of a gift I want to send to you. You start, overreacting. Oh my God, the guy is cheap. I don't know if he's financially stable. Don't rush. When you are dating a guy, you should never rush. Take your time to study that guy. Observe everything, and I repeat, get to know the meaning of the gift that you received. Because I remember one time there is a lady who contacted me and had received gifts from her online boyfriend. She was very excited to receive those gifts but didn't know what was inside. So after the gifts arriving, she opened them. Oh my goodness. It was a big shock and a disappointment. Called me very, very disappointed. Was like, Bella, can you imagine what this guy sent to me? He sent me 2 underwears from Europe. And cheap ones. So here we can judge because there is a meaning behind those underwears, and it wasn't even a good meaning. So eventually this lady had to end it with that guy. In reality, this guy wanted her to be putting those underwears when they talk on a video call. Those weird guys. Yeah, so here I can tell you guys, appreciate no matter how much he spent. It is his money, he worked for it, but what's the meaning behind it? Is it a good one or a bad one? If it is a good one, guys, appreciate no matter the little money he spent on that gift. It came from the bottom of his heart.
Yeah, and also he had bought some gifts for my son and my nephew, Linda's son, though those toys were confiscated at the airport. So he had wanted us to go get toys for my son and my nephew. And guys, I was observing this man whilst we were spending time together. He actually picked out like the best gifts for my son and my nephew, and that really touched my heart. He said he wanted to make a good impression on my son and my nephew because they were a part of me and that because they were important to me. He also brought some biscuits and some sweets from the Netherlands for my family. Yeah, those were the gifts that he had brought. After spending so much time together at the hotel, just getting to know each other, bonding and telling each other about each other's lives and how much we missed each other, how our lives had been without each other, Rick wanted to meet my mom, because he wanted to get married. He said he was completely certain that I was the one for him. And before introducing him to my mom, I made it clear to him that if he was meeting him, he had to be 100% sure that he wanted to marry me, because my mom is somebody who's very traditional, and because of what I went through in my past marriage, she wanted a man in my life who was going to pay, the whole bride price at once, not paying it in bits. And just in Africa, if you introduce a man to your parents, it means that man is like really, really, really serious with you. And so I told him about bride price, and he was very comfortable with it because he also had done his research. He knew what he was getting himself into. And also, whilst he was online on the dating apps, he had met an African woman before me, and she had told him about bride price. So he had done his research and he understood what it was, though he didn't really see why we do it. So I had to explain to him that bride price was something very important to me, and that if he really wanted me to be a part of his life, he had to honor me in such a way. And he didn't have any complaints at all. He said he was only paying it because it made me happy and because he wanted to honor me. So that really touched my heart. And so when I introduced him to my mom, he had to go with I don't know what they call it in Zambia, but like before you speak to my mom, because you're coming to introduce yourself, he had to pay a certain amount of money, and he paid that. It's an amount that is slightly lower than bride price. So he pays that amount of money, showing my mom that he is serious and that he wants to be engaged to me. Yeah, so my mom was, excited because she knew that I wanted to get married to a white person. And so I arranged for a date for him to meet my mom so that he introduces himself. I know like in other African countries, they call it a knocking ceremony, where the man introduces himself and comes to make his intentions known and negotiate the lobola price. Yeah, so when that day came, Rick was so nervous. He couldn't eat his breakfast. He just wanted to have it done and over with. And let me say this, ladies, when you bring your man to your family, when they charge him a bride price that is unreasonable, you have to sort of like stand up for your man. You know the things that this person has gone through for you, and you've seen that this man is genuine and that he's got genuine intentions. You have to tell your family to be lenient, because I've seen our family members see a muzungu. They want to overprice the bride price. They want to set like a really high amount that is not reasonable and exaggerated. And sometimes if you charge too high, a person might be scared, you see. Yeah, so you have to stand your ground, fight for your man, like, give him a heads up, tell him how to go about it, advise him that he actually has the right to negotiate. If he's not comfortable with an amount, he has the right to say that. Yeah.
So guys, when it comes to the bride price, I remember we talked about this too with Sante, and I'm glad it went very, very well. You know what, guys? When it comes to the bride price, how much your family is going to charge the man that is to marry you, don't stand aside and be like, yeah, it's my family, you have to listen to my family. Oh my God, this will put this man into a confusion. Like we all know, or like I have always said, interracial relationships are not cheap. A good example is Sante's case. Sante is a single mother, and if she was supposed to relocate to the Netherlands, that means Rick was supposed to pay her ticket, her son's ticket, his ticket. Not only that, there is the bride price, there is the wedding costs. Not cheap, guys, not cheap. If we make the total, oh goodness, it's a lot of money. But these white guys all these guys that we meet online and we live in different continents, they spend their money, they make lots of sacrifices because of love. It's only true love that can make a guy go through all that, spend all that money. Because I've seen how, guys who are not the quality guys, the way they talk when it comes to spending their money so that they can be with you. Some be like, oh, that kind of money, I better go to Maldives and enjoy myself than spend all that money to be with you. If you remember, there is a story I shared with you here of a guy who was saying he can't pay the bride price, and if he is to marry, then they should split the bills. Otherwise, better take a woman to clean his house and take another woman to enjoy them the goodies. Yeah, that's a guy that is not a quality guy. So Rick was really a quality guy, and Sante stood by his side to make sure that the whole bride price thing doesn't stress him a lot. And it's not all about even him spending all that kind of money, but if you're dating this guy, you already know the kind of a job he does. You already know the kind of his lifestyle. You already know his financial status. Yeah, so you should never ever leave your man alone when it comes to the bride price. Oh, join with your family to charge this guy. Okay, let us be wise. Please, please.
And so when the bride price was finally set, after Rick negotiated with my family, he was so happy, he was so relieved. He just wanted to leave that place and go back to the hotel and just celebrate with me. And ladies, on that day, guess what happened? We shared the goodies. Yes. I know Christian ladies are going to come from me, but guys, let's be realistic. I was with this person, we were living together, and after observing what he was like with my son, after observing how he treated me every day, after observing how he was with people that are beneath him, I was, I felt like I could give myself to him because he had proven that that he loved me, and he was just so loving. And so we shared the goodies, Bella. It was amazing. Oh my goodness, that day I saw stars everywhere. Bella, why didn't you tell me that these guys are like really, really, really good when it comes to the goodies? It was so beautiful. Yeah, it was such a beautiful experience. And after sharing the goodies, Rick became more serious with me. It's like he changed, and it's like he knew that things had been taken to the next level. He was always holding my hand. He was extra romantic. Yeah. Ladies, don't come for me. This is what happened. I'm just giving you the raw truth here. So don't judge me because I'm Christian and wait until marriage. I did not wait. We shared the goodies. I had been single for 10 years, and my body just began to crave him. Yeah. The goodies were amazing. They were beautiful. Oh my God, thinking about it right now is making me have goosebumps, girls. Oh my God.
Oh, Sante made me laugh a lot about the goodies. She saw the stars. Yeah. Even if I told you, girl, you were not going to believe me until you tasted it. Oh, yeah. And by the way, guys, in my last video, I remember telling you that Sante told Rick she is going to wait till marriage, but said that to see his reaction. Like I told you, some guys will be like, oh, Why would you wait till marriage? You're already, a mother. Like this message here of another baby of mine who was chatting with a guy that is not a quality guy. Read his view when it comes to enjoying the goodies. Never wanted to wait, and when I went through his message, I told my girl, you know what? Block this guy immediately. Sante enjoyed them the goodies. And guys, before I forget, I remember sharing a video here on when to share the goodies, especially you who don't want to wait till marriage. It's not that the guy comes to visit you and then, that gives him a ticket for him to enjoy the goodies. No, there are some things you need to observe in a guy. There are some things you need to do before, giving that guy your body. Because, after you give your goodies, all your power is gone as a woman. So you should first work on those things. And when all is everything tick, 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 then enjoy them the goodies. Yeah.
And so guys, Rick decided that he wanted to pay my bride price after I visited him in his home country, that is the Netherlands, because he wanted to see. He wanted to make sure that I loved or I was comfortable with his lifestyle in his country. So this is what we had decided, and he made this very clear to my family. So whilst all of this was happening, ladies, I kept my lips sealed. I did not tell anybody about Rick and I's relationship. The only people that knew about this were my family and a very few close friends of mine. So Pastor John and any mutual friends that we had no idea of what was happening. People in Africa are evil. You never know what they plan against you. So when something big is happening around you, always keep your lips sealed, like Bella always says. And throw away the key. So I was just moving in silence. And so Rick and I visited a few places in Zambia. I took him around my neighborhood. I took him to an African restaurant. I wanted him to try out African foods, and of course he loved it. We went visiting some of my very, very, very close friends. I showed him the type of lifestyle I had. I took him to my gym. I took him to my place of work. And it was really, really, really nice. And throughout, every time we went out, I was paying attention, ladies. I was paying particular attention to how he was treating people around him. That was very, very, very important to me. And just how he conducted himself. I wanted to see whether he had a temper, whether he was moody, whether he respected people regardless of their skin color, regardless of their status in life. Throughout, every time we went out, I never spent any money. Rick was always the one paying for our dates. Each time we went out for dinner, he paid. He always provided money for fuel to put in my car. He was such a gentleman. It was so nice, guys. When you meet the one that God has for you, everything just flows. So everything was just flowing smoothly.
So there is this question that I always get. Bella, I am meeting my boyfriend for the first time. What kind of the questions can I ask this guy? I need to make sure he doesn't lie to me and all that. The advice that I'm giving you guys is that if you're meeting your guy for that first time, you don't need to ask lots of questions. Honestly, you should observe how he behaves. Observe the questions that this guy asks you, because through his questions, you will get to understand. Observe the chemistry between you. When you meet that first time, will he hug you? And if he hugs you, will it be a warm hug or it is just, a cold hug? Because you can feel it, Observe if this guy is respectful, even towards you. Yeah, the hug can be really warm, but will he go ahead and start, being too touchy, that will make you so uncomfortable, which means he's not even respectful. You should observe. Instead of start asking him, are you respectful? Are you this? Are you that? Sit and observe. If he'll stay there, let's say, for a week or 2 weeks, all that time, don't just relax and get overwhelmed because this guy came to see you, traveled all that far, and you be like, oh wow, he is the one. No, him coming to meet you in your country doesn't mean he is the one. You need to observe. Observe, just like how Sante has told you. She observed this guy, how he could even treat people around him, how he could treat her. Was he moody and all those things? Because I know things have been happening. That's why I keep telling you these things. Yeah, my babies, they get visited by these guys. They meet online, and the first meeting, the guy is moody. Sometimes, he just don't want to talk to you. He keeps quiet all the time, starts acting weird. So if you see that, just know that something is wrong somewhere. And if he just came to see you for that first time, he is acting so moody, or he is already aggressive on you, what if you go to his country? What will happen to you, my sister? The worst. So observe. Don't get me wrong and be like, I'll just keep quiet and observe. No, guys, you can just ask few questions and the rest is just to observe. Let me hope you have understood me on this.
And every time I went out with him, people would stare at us. One time, I remember we went for a walk. If you're from Zambia, you know this. We went for a walk on Cairo Road. And during that time, there were still like thugs in the streets. Those people that sell clothes and shoes for men on Cairo Road. So like every time they saw me walking hand in hand with him, they'll be like, sister, unamchosa kutoyo mzungu, mugwirilile, bazakupoka masle queen, mugwirilile mulamu watu, sister. My Zambian ladies know what I'm talking about. So those men would be saying, oh sister, hold on tight to that white man. Be careful, Lusaka slay queens are going to grab him away from you. And Rick would ask me what they were saying, and I told him. His response was, no, I only have eyes for one woman, and that's you. Yeah, it was so nice and so sweet. So when you're having a really good time goes by really fast. So the 2 weeks that Rick came to see me in Lusaka were finally over, and he had to go back to his country, Netherlands. Oh my God. It was such a sad day. I had to drive him to the airport. I was so emotional on that day. He was also so emotional. Every time that I would watch interracial couples saying goodbye to each other, I always wondered why they were crying. It's so painful watching a loved one go to his country. It's so hard, like being in a long distance relationship. You miss each other so much. So I actually cried that day, and he cried, and he went back to his country. He still kept in touch throughout, and he finally sent me his invitation. He invited me to his country. And when he invited me, it meant that I had to apply for my Schengen visa, and for that I needed to prove my strong ties to Zambia. And one of the things that actually got One of the things that made it easier for them to approve my Schengen visa was the fact that I was a single parent, the fact that I was a single mother. Yeah, so I had to submit proof that I was a single mom, and proof that I had enough money in my account. Yeah, they're like very strict. And Rick paid for my ticket. He also sent me the invitation. He's the one that made all the payments for all my paperwork. So we submitted all of our paperwork sometime in January. Yeah, and after like 3 weeks, my Schengen visa was approved and I was gonna fly to the Netherlands. For the first time in my life, I was gonna get on a plane. Yeah. And so I traveled to the Netherlands in March. I was so excited. I was so overjoyed. Yeah, traveling all the way from Africa to Europe was an amazing experience, you know. Yeah, it was nerve-wracking. I was actually very nervous. I was like, what if I get lost? What if I don't know where to go? But then Rick had arranged for somebody to pick me up in Dubai so that they connect me to my connecting flight. Yeah, it was such a beautiful experience. And when I got to the Netherlands, guess who I found waiting for me at the airport? Rick. Yeah, with some flowers, and we drove home. When we got home, he made me a beautiful dinner. After resting, he showed me around his house. He wanted me to be comfortable. I remember also he took me shopping. He showed me around the Netherlands. He introduced me to his friends. And ladies, the first time he introduced me to his parents was actually the day that he proposed. So some of you, I read your comments because Bella posted my engagement video. You're like, girl, why aren't you reacting? Why aren't you excited? Guys, remember, I had been waiting for this for a long time. And then seeing him get down on one knee, it was so overwhelming for me. I did not expect it at all. He had spoken about proposing to me, but then I didn't think he was going to propose the day that he had introduced me to his family. Because you see, I'm already nervous, you know, anxious meeting his family. And then he took me to this beautiful lake. They call it the Blue Lake here. That place is like really special to him because that's where his dad proposed to his mom also. Yeah, so it was beautiful. Oh, and when he got down on one knee, I was crying. I was really crying because for me, for such a long time, I have been told I was going to get married to a white man. And then seeing it happen and seeing it unfold right before your very eyes, it was so emotional. He actually went down on one knee. And like in my first marriage, Pastor John never did that. Yeah. So he got down on one knee and asked me to marry him. And of course I said yes. It was amazing. Yeah. And if you're somebody who's single, I really pray that you meet your soulmate. I really pray that God brings the right man into your life.
Oh yes guys, I remember I shared with you that short video clip of her engagement. I'll be sharing it here again so that you can enjoy it. And wow, I didn't know that the place where Rick proposed is the same place where his father proposed to his mom. And you can see guys, that's why I keep telling you, study a guy you are dating. Otherwise you might even, leave a relationship thinking it's like this, but in reality it's not like this. It's the other way around. So the whole thing of social media, the things that we see out there, people getting proposed maybe at the beach, a very big party, some getting proposed in Paris, the big city of love. So seeing where Rick proposed to Sante without knowing the meaning behind that place. If you are those ladies that follows everything that goes on social media, you will be disappointed, like, how would this guy propose to me in such kind of a place, you know? And probably be like, he's a cheap guy, he couldn't organize this, he couldn't organize that. But that's not the case. Oh my God, that place is very, very special to him, and his parents' marriage is a marriage that he looks up to, because you can see they are old together and he wants the same thing. So we should always understand the meaning behind everything that our men do, without starting to compare, you know, your relationship with another relationship, how the other lady got engaged, like how was her engagement day and how was your engagement day. That's wrong. Let me hope, guys, you learned something from this, and congratulations, girl.
Ook een bellenblaas. Mooi. Is de verkeerde kant op.
Nou de verkeerde kant op.
Nou de verkeerde kant op. Ja. Hallo. Liever. Hier blijven. Voorzichtig.
Ga niet doen.
Yeah, it looks very good on you, baby.
So, friends, after Rick proposed, remember our goal was for me to come to the Netherlands. So after a week of me living in the Netherlands, Rick took me to Germany. Wow, Germany is such a beautiful place. They have such beautiful buildings. We went to Berlin. One of the reasons we went there, actually this was the most important reason, was in order for me to write my Dutch exams. So in order for you to apply for a Dutch partner visa, you have to write A1 Dutch exams. So I went and wrote my Dutch exams from Germany, Berlin, and I passed those exams, and that was how we managed to apply for our Dutch partnership visa. So that's the MVV visa. So we were in Berlin for 5 days. We also had an amazing time, and let me emphasize, Rick made all the payments. He paid for everything. I did not have to use my money. He bought me the ticket. He paid for those exams. Anything to do with finances, he took it up. So I stayed in the Netherlands for 3 weeks, 3 whole weeks. And our plan was that when I get back to Zambia, I have to apply for the MVV visa. That is the Dutch partnership visa. Rick and I decided that we were going to marry in the Netherlands, but you know, God always has his own plans. Our plans did not work like that. So when I came back to Zambia, I had to apply for my son's passport, and guys, that was really a long process. It took time, you know, it really took a lot of time. You can imagine when applying for a child's passport, any child that's below 12 or below 16 actually, you need a birth certificate. And remember, Bella shared in one of my stories that Pastor John did not give my son his name. He had always refused to give me his ID in order for us to get like a birth certificate for our son, because you know, in Zambia, if you want a birth certificate for your child, you need to provide the mother's ID and the father's ID. Without the father's ID, it means the child cannot be registered. And so when he had refused to do that, you know, it always used to bother me. It always used to hurt me, because, you know, he was my son's father, without me realizing that it was actually a blessing in disguise. So I went and got a birth certificate without Pastor John's name. So my son's birth certificate has no Pastor John's name on it. So if you have a birth certificate like that without the father's details, it means that father is not present in the child's life. It means you as a mother has full custody of that child. And when getting a passport, you don't need the father's permission. And so if you decide to travel, you don't need the father's permission to travel. You can travel on your own. So for me, that was really a blessing in disguise. Imagine if my son had Pastor John's names. It meant that if I wanted to travel with him to the Netherlands, I had to go ask Pastor John's permission. And you know, some people are evil. They'll like block your blessing just like that. You start fighting. So yeah, it was a blessing. So here I just want to encourage you that anything bad that happens in your life, you might not understand it now when it is unfolding or when it is happening. Just accept it as it is. It could be God protecting you from something that you cannot see. You know, God always knows what is best for you.
So guys, one thing that I have learned in life is that whatever challenge comes your way, always take it the positive way. Yes guys, and that's why you always see this smile here. When I come here, I'm smiling, I'm happy. And yes guys, I am happy. Because with me, whatever challenge comes, I can't say I don't have challenges in life. I've got my own challenges. You know, you too, you have got your own challenges. Every human being goes through some challenges in life at some point, okay? But how you handle those challenges matters a lot. So with me, a challenge happens. I can't tell you I don't cry about challenges. I'm human. Yeah, at first I cry. After crying, I talk to God. And when I finish talking to God, do you know what? it slides on my body. Yeah, I leave everything into his hands, because with God nothing is impossible. Okay, he is capable. So my advice to you, when you face challenges in life, this is a challenge. Okay, look at it, think if it is under your control. If you can control that, then work towards solving it. But if it is out of your control, leave it in the hands of God. Because no matter how you get worried, no matter how you get depressed or frustrated, it won't change at all. It will still remain the same. But if you talk to God, he will find a way out. Just like how he found a way out to Sante through this whole situation of our fake Pastor John refusing to give his name to his son. But eventually, who won? Who was the winner? Yeah, God is faithful, guys.
Yeah, so with all of our paperwork in order, our passports, my son's passport, when it was finally ready, I sent them to Rick and he applied for the MVV visa. We applied for our visa in April and we were told that it takes 3 months for it to be approved, and we were expecting for it to be approved in July so that I travel to the Netherlands with my son and marry from the Netherlands. But it did not happen like that. And also when I came back to Zambia, Rick sent all the money for bride price to my mom, and so he paid the bride price. So fast forward to July, our visa was not approved because there were delayments from the embassy. When Rick tried to get in touch with them, they said we had to wait. So when July came, they sent us a letter of default telling us that we had to wait another 3 months. So we had missed each other so much, and so Rick decided to travel here to my country so that we get married from here. So when he said that, I was already ready. I had already prepared my wedding, because God had told me that I was in my season of marriage. I had already planned my wedding. So when he finally flew here in September, I had prepared everything. I would just ask him and tell him what I needed. And guys, during all the preparations for our wedding, Rick was so supportive. I have never felt so peaceful and so stress-free. He always sent me money to make payments for whatever I needed. And because I'm such a person who likes to keep things to myself, and sometimes I won't ask you for help if I need that help, but Rick would always send the money. And if I don't ask, he would, ask me why I'm not asking him for money. So everything to do with our wedding preparations, he's the one that catered, he's the one that footed the bill from venue for our church venue, our reception venue, the decor, the food, my wedding dress, my son's outfit, the rings. He did everything. I did not have to pay for anything. The only thing I think that I paid for were probably my nails and my makeup, Yeah, he did everything. And so when he came here, when he came in Zambia for the second time for our wedding, it was beautiful. When he flew in, I advised him not to live at a hotel because that was going to be expensive. So during this time, I was living in my own house and he was paying rent. So he was living with me when he came for our wedding.
Yes.
Yeah, they are clear. This way. What?
And I remember before our wedding, we had to go for counseling at church. Even though he's not somebody that goes to church, he accepted to do that. Yeah, he's a humble person. And we went through church counseling, and it was amazing, guys. It was amazing. And our wedding day finally came. I remember waking up that day feeling so excited. You know, I looked like a princess. Bella is going to share all the videos. It was such a beautiful day. I also had like a mother and son dance with my son. It was so emotional. I actually cried during that. My son also cried. Rick also cried. Yeah, it was such a beautiful day. I also had like a washing of feet ceremony. That is something that I wanted. Yeah, it was such a beautiful day. So we got married in September 14th.
So guys, I am here again to talk a bit about her wedding day too. Yeah, so in the morning of her wedding day, I remember she sent me some photos, her getting prepared, but we had talked a day before, you know. All the time I could be like, I'm excited, I wish I was there, you know, to celebrate with you. Yeah, because her success is my success too, guys. So she sent me the photos when they were doing makeup on her, sent me the photos when she was ready to go and say yes to the love of her life, to Rick. Yeah, and she looked so beautiful. Oh my god, she was such a beautiful, beautiful bride. So yeah, the wedding passes, and the next day in the morning, I'm like, girl, I need to see the videos, I need to see more photos. She was like, don't worry, Bella, I'm going to be sending. So she sent me some and was like, wait, as they come, I'll keep on sending. Then sends me the video clips of her wedding night. Guys, to be honest, when I watched those video clips, I cried, especially the one whereby Sante was dancing with her son. I cried, but not tears of sadness, tears of joy, due to what this lady went through in the past. But in all this, you can see that God is faithful. If you believe in Him, you trust in Him, you keep your hope in Him, eventually He's gonna wipe all your tears, no matter what you have been through in the past. But your time will come to laugh, to smile, to be happy. You are not going to cry forever. We can see how long Sante suffered, Sante cried. But yeah, guys, we are here telling her success love story because of God. And I remember recently talking to one of my babies. She was really worried of the challenges she has been facing online and was telling me, Bella, I really don't know if I will ever find love online. If it is to pray, Bella, I pray. I pray so much. But I don't know why God is not answering my prayers. I told her, don't worry. He is going to answer your prayers. Because the devil can be there, talking to you. No, give up. Online dating is not for you. Maybe you're going to find someone, in real life. Or you'll find someone, I don't know where. But just leave this online dating thing. Leave this whole thing of wanting a white guy. Maybe it's your wish to get married to a white guy. If you're having that voice, it's just the devil. Because God wants you to be happy. God can never make you abandon what will make you happy. Okay? And all our story is being written already. You can see Sante, they prophesied on her that she'll get married to a white guy when she was very young. But the devil kept on, talking to her. No, you won't get married to a white guy. Where will you find a white guy? Better marry, this, like how she followed the advice of the colleagues and the devil too, to marry this fake pastor. Marrying that fake pastor at that time, Sante knew that he is the one. He is the man that God sent to her. But in reality, God had written already her love story that she will get married to a white guy, no matter what she will go through because of the devil. But at the end of the day, she will find that happiness. I have so many examples of ladies that even were online, looking for love, looking for a white guy because it's their choice, it's their wish to get married to a white guy, and then gave up, decided, I'm just going to date men here because it's more easier. But what happened to them after abandoning that plan that they thought maybe it's not God's plan, things really went bad. Because if it is not God's plan, things will never be smooth. You will never have peace. You will never be happy. In conclusion, guys, keep believing in God. You have been praying. Keep praying without stopping because nothing beats prayers.
So whilst we were still after our wedding day, right, we did go for honeymoon for 5 days. We had an amazing time. We went to a hotel in Lusaka. We spent time together there. And after we came back from our honeymoon, we received news that our visa was approved. So things were like happening really fast, right? When it is your time, when it is God's time, everything just happens as it's supposed to happen. Yeah. And so our visas were approved. So it meant I had to travel. We had to travel to the Netherlands, me, Rick, and my son. Yeah. And before traveling to the Netherlands, because we do not have a Dutch embassy in Zambia, we had to travel to Zimbabwe. That's the nearest country to Zambia that has the Dutch embassy. So we had to travel there in order for them to put the visas in our passports. Yeah, so Rick booked tickets for me, him, and my son to fly to Zimbabwe. So we flew to Zimbabwe and of course had a great time there. We continued our honeymoon. It was such an amazing experience. Yeah. So we were in Zimbabwe for five to 6 days, I think. Then we had to fly back to Zambia after all of our visas were okay and everything was done. We had to fly back to Zambia and just prepare everything, pack up, do all last minute things, say goodbye to our friends. And the day finally came for us to leave Zambia. Me, Rick, and my son. So we all flew together to the Netherlands. Yeah, we all sat together on the plane. It was so nice, guys. And when we got to the Netherlands, we found Rick's family waiting for us and welcomed us. Yeah, so right now, as I am speaking to you, I am speaking to you from the Netherlands. I am happily married here. Yeah, so this has been my journey. And so my advice to you who is on online dating apps looking for love is to be open-minded. Do not be closed-minded. Keep your options open. Do not be so rigid. When you become rigid, it's like you're putting God in a box. Do not do that. Be open-minded. Be open to everyone who is online. Remember, when you go on these online dating apps, you are meeting men from all over the world. Men that have a completely different culture from yours. So you have to be willing to meet these men in the middle. I'll give an example of myself. When I first started online dating apps as a Christian, I always used to write on my in my profile, in my bio, I would say I am looking for a God-fearing man. I am looking for a spirit-filled man. Don't do this, my Christian ladies. Be open-minded. Instead of looking for a man who is highly anointed, look for somebody who has the attributes of Christ. Some of these men that come from Europe or from America, they do not have the same sentiments with Christianity or Islam or whatever religion like us. They're not as religious or as spiritual as we are, but believe me, they have beautiful hearts. They have the attributes of Christ. They are righteous. They are just. They believe in helping people. They are good providers. And also, I have seen a lot of women that are only focused on looking for a white, rich man. If this is your intention, God cannot bless you with a rich white man. You understand? Your intentions have to be pure, right? You have to have pure intentions. Don't just look for a man who is wealthy. Look for a man who has a good heart. Look for godly qualities in these men. Yeah, this will be my advice to you. And also, don't give up. Do not give up. If I waited 10 whole years to meet my soulmate, I'm sure there is somebody out there for you also. If it took me 8 years, it was hard. There were times that I would cry. There were times that I felt like God had rejected me or like God had abandoned me. But I would always get up. I did not give up. I always went back and always tried. Keep trying. Also, something that is also important, surround yourself with a community of people that are looking for the same things as you. For me, I found that community to be Bella's platform. You see, watch the women's stories there. Learn from the women. ask Bella for advice, and you know she's going to help you. Yeah, and yeah, so that's that.
And oh yes, I agree with Sante on this too. Join the community that understands you. And I remember one time I was telling you, I came to realize that the reason why we understand each other, we connect, me and you, it's because you know my story, you know where I came from, and maybe some of you or most of you have been through the same things that I have been through. Also, when you come and you tell me a certain situation, I tell you, you know what, girl, I went through that. You feel connected, you feel like you have found someone who truly understands you than being in the community that don't understand you completely. If you tell them, you know, your struggles, nobody even understands how it feels, you know, to struggle, how it feels to be lonely. That person will never understand you. So find communities, even if it is Bella's community or you find another community that you feel like you are connected, stick to that. Another thing I want to add here, I've said this countless times, but I see you guys still, you do same things and you come to me to cry. Stop following people that are making you sad. Stop following people that after watching their content, let it be on Facebook, let it be on Instagram, let it be on YouTube, after watching them, you remain like, oh my God, why am I so unlucky, you know? Or why am I so poor? I hate my life. Stop following those. And I told you, even if it's me, you feel like after watching my video, you feel like very sad, you hate your life, you know, you leave this channel with a lot of negativity in you, then stop watching, because the most important thing that I want you guys to have is the peace of mind. So when you go to a certain account, certain channel, you feel understood, you feel like you can relate to that person, you feel like you can learn something, you know, from that channel, stick to that, because that will help you to reach your goals. So on Sante's advice, I've got something to add too. As your online dating coach, guys, please stop. I remember I did a video and I told you, don't want that ready-made man. We are not perfect. You too, you are not perfect. You've got your own imperfections. Me too. I have got my own imperfections. I am not perfect at all. Stop this whole thing of going to the dating site or app to look for a perfect guy. Yeah. You start chatting with a guy, you have already judged him, how he laughs, you have already judged him, how tall he is, you have already judged him, how he talks, you already, hey, guys, stop. If we start like looking into those things that are not okay in you, we will find really a lot, I'm saying. Because human beings, that's how we are. We are not perfect. Please observe the most important things in a guy for a relationship to work, to have a healthy relationship, okay? Some other things, you can work on them. For example, how a guy dresses, okay? Because some of you start chatting with a guy and immediately you want to change the way this guy dresses. No, please work on that relationship. Build the relationship first, and later you'll get to work on how he dresses. Some even go to an extent. We went on a date and oh my God, the way he chews. You are too much, guys. Too much. How he walks. You want a man to walk in a certain way, the way that you want. You are not God, oh. You are not God. Please stop doing God's work. Please. So friends, for those who go to the dating sites and apps and you be like, I'm looking for only rich guys. you know what? I respect your decision completely. But my advice here is, before you go to search for a rich guy on the dating sites and apps, get to do a research. How is it like to date a rich guy? Okay. For those of you who are looking for only younger guys, some be like, I want a guy who is maximum 5 years older than me. Maybe you are 25, so you're looking for guys from 25 years old to 30 years old. That's it. If a guy is 35, 40, that's a big no. You too, I am advising you, before you go to search for a young guy on the dating sites and apps, do your own research. How is it like to date a younger guy? You who are like, Bella, for me, I'm into old guys. You know, a guy should be really older than me. Even if it is 30 years older than me, it is fine. It's okay. Also, get to do a research on how is it like to date older guys. Because I've seen some of you make decisions and later you start regretting because of those decisions that you made. But why do you regret? Because you never took time to research and understand what you're about to put yourself into. Guys, you know, I always come here with a real talk. I am someone who believes in honesty. I'm someone who believes in telling things as they are so that someone can decide without putting some flash, you know, bling bling in her eyes. And eventually when those bling bling are gone, she's like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? Yeah. So another reality of on online dating apps and sites that I think it is important for you guys to know, if you didn't know, is that majority, 95 or 96% of guys on the dating sites are normal guys. Okay. So don't just be there and you're busy, I'm searching for a rich guy, I must get this rich guy. Remember, majority of guys there are just normal guys. So focus on a guy who is financially stable, a guy who is looking to settle down, start a family with you, and he knows what he is about to put himself into. He knows, yes, interracial relationships needs money. He will have to take money out of his pocket to support that relationship so that you guys can be together. Yeah. So for those who have been wondering, the name of the dating app or site where Sante found Rick, her husband, is F Dating. Yeah. This dating site is 100% free. You can chat for free and a guy can chat for free. So Sante found love on F Dating and her sister too, Linda, found the one on F Dating.
And so, the Bible says, unless the Lord builds, the builders build in vain. So even in your search for love, do not forget to put God first. Do not forget to commit your plans to the Lord. So don't forget to like this video and let's connect more on Facebook. So Woman After Christ's Heart. Go follow me and show me love. Bye.
Yes guys, let us support our beautiful Sante. Follow her on her Facebook page. You are going to learn a lot. I always say we all have got something to learn from each other and it is good to support each other. So thank you so much. Be blessed. So guys, Sante is also on YouTube, just joined recently. She has got a new YouTube channel. Your support is needed. Support your girl, and her YouTube channel name is the same, Woman After Christ's Heart. Thank you so much guys once again. If you have watched this video to this point, be blessed guys for your love and your support. Just know that I don't take it for granted. If you have liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, family, everyone that you think will enjoy this video and learn something. Don't forget to comment below what you think about this video. I would like to know. If you haven't watched my other videos too, go watch them. You are going to learn a lot of new things that will help you so much in your search for the right man, for your Mr. Right, for that quality guy. So if you have been watching my channel, every video that I upload, you are here, but you haven't subscribed, what are you still waiting for? Please join the family by subscribing. It is free. To you, it might not mean anything, but to me, it really means a lot. So please do that, and thank you so much. I love you so much, guys. You are always here in my heart. Let us meet in my next video. Ciao, ciao. Mwah.